we got compost bins, right? We got compost over here. That's doing it. That takes time. But I want to kind of speed up the process. And what I mean speed up the process, meaning I can have a couple of 100 to 1,000 earthworms and earthworm manure fertilizing the garden in a matter of 60 days. So I'm gonna build me some earthworm bins. We're gonna grow some earthworms. We're gonna let them get in there, let them do the breeding thing. We're gonna feed them. We'll get everything ready to go. And then in 60 days, I'm gonna dump them worms in this garden and let them do their job. So we got 3 barrels. And out of these 3 barrels, we're gonna actually, for the garden, we're gonna actually turn around and we're gonna make our own earthworms. I say make them. We're gonna just put a bunch of earthworms in here and let them do their thing. And once they do their thing, then essentially they'll have a bunch of babies. They'll get a bunch of babies. Typically about every 60 days, you'll end up having a bunch of earthworms. So we're gonna do this for two things. 1, we need them for the garden. 2, we're in a lake area, and people are always looking for places to buy fishing lures, fishing worms, so live bait. So essentially that's a second way that this farm can actually make some money. And sorry, allergies have hit me pretty quick. So, but just gotta open this thing up, take the ring off, take the lid off. It is full of all kinds of good stuff. I'm gonna throw some soap in here. And we'll get this thing cleaned up. Got 3 of them. I'm gonna get 2 of them for sure going to be for live worms, and that'll get that going. So in about 4 months, we'll have a ton of worms. So that's not too bad.
Good soil doesn't happen by accident. It's built from the ground up, slowly, naturally. A worm colony might not look like much, but it's one of the most important parts of a healthy garden. These small, overlooked workers break things down, turn scraps into nutrients, and bring life back into the dirt. It's not glamorous work, but it's the kind that everything else depends on.
All right, let's let those things fill up. I'm gonna get them completely full. Let them sit for about 24 hours. I'll dump them out. Tomorrow, should be able to get everything we need to get the worms in there. Got to put layers of cardboard. I've got 2 5-gallon buckets of coffee grounds coming, so that'll be done. So we got multiple things we can do. This will be good. So we'll get our worms going. All right, barrels have been sitting for about 24 hours. I need to empty one of them out. Looking at some different plans of different types of ones to make for breeding ground for worms, and I'm going to cut this one in half, so I'll get 2, and we'll go from there. Since I don't have a ton of worms and we're going to take time, we're just going to go off of 1 barrel for now. So I'll get that going, and I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do it.
Every build starts simple: a few materials, a plan, and the willingness to figure it out along the way. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to work. Piece by piece it comes together, not rushed, not overcomplicated, just practical. Because out here, the goal isn't perfection, it's function. Something that lasts, something that serves a purpose.
On a stand, again, about 25 gallons per. We'll put the soil in, layer it up, it should be good to go. Get the worms in it, not too bad.
Getting it ready takes a little attention, making sure everything's set up right before it's put to use. Because the small details, the ones most people skip, are usually the ones that matter most in the long run.
Frame is built. It'll hold the half barrel, so there's about 25 gallons per side, basically 25 and a half, whatever. I'm not gonna fill it all the way up. I need the worms, which I've got. I need a 5-gallon bucket of dirt, peat moss, need some food for them. The place we stopped at 2 days ago, was gonna pick up some coffee grinds. They didn't. They said they'd put it out for me. They didn't put it out for me, so now I gotta wait for that. I'll call them later, see if they have them out there today. If that's the case, I'll go pick it up today, but we'll feed them that later. I just need to get the worms in the ground because I've had them for 2 days. And but being that I've had the worms for 2 days, they're cooped up in that little thing. I don't want them to die. So let me get the dirt, let me get the water, gotta get cardboard, and I'll show you how to layer this thing.
It all comes down to balance. The right mix of food, dirt, and moisture. Too much of one, not enough of another, and it doesn't work. But when you get it right, everything starts to come alive. And then come the worms, settling into their new home, getting to work almost immediately. Quiet, steady progress, turning what was waste into something useful. That's how a system like this works. Simple, natural, and effective.
All right, these little fellas are in here, digging their way through. Gonna enjoy all this stuff. They are good to go. We're gonna have some worms here soon. Their entire job is to have babies at this point. My job is to bring them more food, which will be scraps like compost and some leftover foods that are not dairy and oily or anything like that. And they will feast on all the cardboard and feast on everything else that's in here. And then in about 60 days, they should have doubled their population. And if we keep things doing right, within the next 120 days, we should have a ton of worms to go put in our garden. And then we'll just start all over again, keep adding more and more. And then we'll also have all the worm poop, which is perfect for the garden, so we'll work that in. Overall, the goal is to have a bigger, more prolific garden so we can have all the food we need, make it where it cuts down on our expenses, because way too many people tend to spend, well, people just tend to be consumers, and we're tired of being consumers, and we want to just produce our own stuff. If we can produce our own stuff and can our own stuff and put it all away, that makes us that far ahead, and then that means that's more money we can put towards other things that the property needs, whether it's a barn, whether it's another tractor, whatever. It's just the more money we spend on food, the less money we have for that type of stuff. So